Hello everyone, I'm back again. Happy Saturday. Welcome to our home in Oro Valley, Arizona, where it's 95 degrees today. Love it, love it, love it. Central air is on, sun is shining, and I'm making one of my very favorite dishes, and it's it's meatloaf with mushroom gravy. And this is different than a typical meatloaf. This meatloaf has ground veal and also ground pork. So let me tell you what's in it, and then I'm going to put it together for you, okay? First of all, you want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. You're going to need a pound of ground veal, a pound and a half of ground pork, a cup of fresh breadcrumbs from day-old sourdough or Italian bread, 3/4 of a cup of milk, 1 medium onion chopped, 2 large cloves of garlic minced, 2 teaspoons of fresh sage finely minced, 1 teaspoon of fresh thyme finely minced, half a teaspoon of dried marjoram, 1/8 of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, 1/4 of a teaspoon of smoked paprika, a pinch of ground cloves, 3/4 teaspoon of kosher salt, half a teaspoon of black pepper, and 1 large egg, and 6 thin slices of prosciutto. Now, the first thing you're going to do, which I've already started, is in a small bowl, you're going to combine the breadcrumbs and the milk. This is called a panade, by the way. And what it does is it makes your meatloaf very, very moist and tender. So in a large bowl, you're going to combine the veal, pork, the breadcrumb mixture, onion, garlic, sage, thyme, marjoram, cayenne pepper, smoked paprika, cloves, salt, pepper, and egg. And then you want to mix this together with your hands until everything is evenly distributed, okay? Now, the first thing I did was I lined my loaf pan with the prosciutto. And it'll probably take 2 pieces for each side, sort of, because what you want this to hang over the sides so you can wrap the meatloaf in it. And your pieces of sage that are laying on the bottom, I've got 6 pieces. When this bakes, you're going to turn this whole thing over and you're going to be able to see that. And it's really just for aesthetics, but it looks nice and the flavor is very, very good. So, what I have done so far is I've got that prepared. I have all my spices, my veal, and my pork in here. So now I'm going to just add the breadcrumb mixture, okay? All my spices are in there except for the ones that I haven't put in yet, actually. So here's your breadcrumb mixture. And next, so that this is, going to get softened up somewhat, I'm going to add the egg, okay? So now I have all of the spices that I need to measure out and put in, okay? So that's going to be, there's so much going on in this recipe, I always have to kind of keep looking back at the recipe. Okay, but I'll tell you, it is really worth it. This is fantastic. So this is my half a teaspoon, I think. Yes. So the first thing I'm going to put in is my half a teaspoon of dried marjoram. Goes right in. And 1/8 of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. And 1/4 of a teaspoon of smoked paprika. since this is a half, we're just gonna do half right there. Okay. And then a pinch of ground cloves. And 3/4 of a teaspoon of kosher salt. Okay. Half a teaspoon of black pepper. The egg is already in there, so that is pretty much it. So I'm going to give it a little bit of a stir before I add my onions and my garlic, okay? And then comes the messy part. I'm gonna try to do this with one hand. We'll see how that works out, because I really don't want to have to clean my rings. All right, so you mix this all in, and I'm telling you right now, this is just, the meatloaf itself is fantastic, but when you make this, I'm gonna make the mushroom gravy too, so you can see how to do that. It is just the most delicious meatloaf I have ever had. And it's the only one I make anymore, really. I was really lucky to be able to find John found it, ground veal and ground pork at the store, because, you know, they sometimes will only have either one or the other in the best of times. And, you know, since this virus has hit us, you never know what we're going to be able to find. So that blends it all right in, just like that. And even if you don't think you like veal or ground pork or whatever, I'm telling you, you just have to try this. The flavors with the spices and everything, and that amazing mushroom gravy. Oh, so good. Okay, now I will tell you, the first time I made this, the only other time, I did not use the prosciutto, and I didn't do this sage leaves on the bottom either, which is what the recipe called for. But I happen to have some prosciutto in the house, because we like it wrapped around breadsticks, and we have that from time to time. So I thought, I can probably make it, you know, with that, and we'll see how we like it. So it's going to be a little bit different. But the meat mixture itself, I mean, prosciutto is basically Italian bacon, isn't it, John?
Ham.
Ham, Italian ham. Okay. So it's going to give it that nice flavor, I think. Okay, so then once it's all mixed together, you're gonna take it out, put it right in your loaf pan, which I've lined with the sage leaves and the prosciutto, okay? There it is. Now we're not having this for dinner tonight because we had a late lunch yesterday and we didn't end up eating the chicken cordon bleu dinner that I made last night. So we're gonna have that tonight, but this will be all ready for tomorrow. And I'll post some pictures of the finished dish here. And I'm still gonna cook it just the same, and I'll just, you know, warm it up tomorrow and bring some to some of our neighbors, I'm sure. Okay, so then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take the prosciutto and you're gonna wrap it around the meatloaf, just like so. Okay, and like I said, remember, 2 slices on the bottom so that this overhangs, because you want to be able to wrap it in it, okay? And then once it's done, it's going to go in the oven for 350 degrees for, let's see, I'm trying to remember, 50 to 60 minutes. I'm pretty sure it was at least it was an hour. And then you're going to let it rest for 10 minutes. You don't want to try to cut into it or invert it. But once you get, once it's set for 10 minutes, you want to take a platter and, you know, obviously pot holders or something, because you want to get all the grease out of the pan that it's in, you know. Just kind of, you know, dump it gently on the side while you got your pot holders. Your pot holders are probably going to get all messy, but they wash, so it's not a big thing. And then you're going to flip it over onto that platter, okay? And then you just cut it into 1-inch slices and you serve it with the mushroom gravy, which we are going to make right now. But first I'm going to put this in the oven. It's all done, okay? Now I'm going to set this for 60 minutes because I know it's going to take 60 minutes. Okay, so there's the meatloaf's in. So now we're going to get to the mushroom gravy. Let me tell you what you need for that. You need 8 ounces of mushrooms. I like to use portobello. You can use cremini, you know, whatever you want, button mushrooms, anything. And what you're going to do is in this skillet, you're going to put in your olive oil, which is a tablespoon, which I've already done. And you're going to saute your mushrooms until they release their liquid and begin to brown. And you want to stir it occasionally while that's going on, because just, you know, just to kind of get them all covered. So I've got 8 ounces of portobello mushrooms sliced. You can buy the whole ones and slice them yourself, or if you like them smaller or whatever. I like them just like this because I love mushrooms, and in this gravy it's fantastic. They're fantastic. Okay, so I'm gonna bring those to saute a bit. Heat on between medium and high. Okay? There. Okay. So we'll give those just a second, all right? Okay, butter, okay. All right. Yeah, they're starting to go. Okay. Okay, and once these are done, I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of butter to that. And then in go the shallots, the garlic, and the chopped, Oh, totally lost my whole thing right here. Let's see, shallot. Sage leaves, that's what it was, sage leaves, that I have all prepared, okay? Just waiting on those mushrooms to get done, and then we can add the rest of that along with the butter. 3 tablespoons of butter to be exact. Now we're going to add our 3 tablespoons of butter. And I had a little spoon here, and I think I threw it in the sink. Okay. All right, so the butter's starting to melt. So in goes the sage, the chopped garlic, and the medium shallot. Shallots are, I think they're from the onion family, but they are sweeter and not, you know, so strong. But they give this mushroom gravy an amazing flavor. Really, really good. And those are chopped up very fine, okay? You can smell the mushrooms starting to do their thing. Pretty much you want those mushrooms to just kind of heat through a bit. They'll change color, they're starting to do that already, but they're going to continue to cook once we add the flour and the sodium stock. And you can use either vegetable, chicken, or beef stock. I have chicken and beef in the house all the time, so I'm going to use beef because I figured, you know, why not? So once these have cooked for just like a few minutes, I'm going to put a quarter of a teaspoon of kosher salt. And of course, pepper. And then we're going to add 2 tablespoons plus 1.5 teaspoons of flour. Here's one. There's 2. There's 1. And a half. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to stir that so that it forms a bit of a paste. And is all, you know, absorbed by everything that's in the pan. That's pretty good. Okay, so that's how it should look, if you can see that. Okay. And next, you're going to slowly add in your 2 cups of stock. And as I said, I'm using beef stock. You want to give that a chance to get warm with everything in the pan, so, you know, stir it as you're going, as you're doing it, and it'll, you know, pick up that heat and do its thing, getting thicker. It's already starting to thicken up. just a second to bubble up. Get nice and thick. Okay, and then you're going to put in a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. And a teaspoon of Gravy Master, or Kitchen Bouquet, whatever you have. And that is the mushroom gravy for your meatloaf. I'm gonna just keep letting it boil a few more minutes to get nice and thick. Oh, smells amazing. So good. So delicious. See, that wasn't so hard, right? You wait, put this over your meatloaf. I think you died and went to heaven. So good. So, here's what I'm gonna do. Once the meatloaf is done, it's gonna be about an hour, and once it has a chance to rest, I'm going to invert it. And then I'm going to do a very short video just to show you how it looks when it comes out of the oven and what the gravy, finished product with gravy is. And in the meantime, I think we're going to have our dinner that I made last night, okay? So you guys have a really good evening, and I will see you soon, okay? Bye. Thanks for checking in.